What are some dark psychology tricks that actually work? 1. If someone is bothering you at your desk too often, continue the conversation but get up and walk them back to their desk. Had a boss who was a guru at this. You'd be back at your desk wondering how the fuck you got there. 2. Silence. If you want to know something, ask the question then wait. People want to fill the silence and will talk and talk. 3. If someone doesn't want to give you specific information, like tuition costs or hours expected, give them an example that's completely unreasonable. They will usually immediately give you an exact number and feel embarrassed for pretending not to know. Example: me, how much does your C++ course cost? Them, it really depends on what your goals are. Me, don't you have a beginner's course? Can you give me a price range? Them, we can work with you to fit your individual needs. Me, okay. Fine. So is it, like, $10 for access to all your courses? Or, them, oh, no. We have a subscription for $99 a month. You can buy the beginner's course for $120. Not useful very often, but it works every time. 4. One thing that my dad does, that he may be completely unaware of, is when you give him good news he always exaggerates it back to you, thus forcing you to downplay your own accomplishment. I honestly don't think he's consciously doing it, but it drives me absolutely crazy. 5. If you make a favor seem bigger than it is before asking it, the person on the receiving end is much more likely to help. 6. Nodding your head up and down slightly when you want someone to agree with what you are saying. 7. Not so dark, but humans have predictable patterns when choosing stuff at random. If you ask 100 people to pick a random number between 1 and 10, a great deal of people choose 3 or 7. Even numbers, highest lowest, 1 and 10, and the middle number, 5, doesn't feel random enough. So when I play board games like cat or card games, where the others have to pick a random card out of my hand, I always put my most valuable card on either side, not in the middle since the middle feels more random. 8. My boss likes having meetings after 5 p.m., and even though I technically can be there for it, I don't want to. So I tell him I have an important class I'm going to at exactly 5:45. I show up for about 5 to 10 minutes of the meeting then leave. He thinks I'm an amazing team player for going out of my way to hop on for just a few minutes, when in reality, I have no class to attend and I hate those meetings. 9. Mirroring is incredible. If you can pull it off from a simple swinging of a chair or a gentle smile, you can actually control their presence. I did some anti-mirroring to a salesman at my door once. I leaned against my door frame. He leaned against my porch post. As soon as he did, I stood up straight. He stood up straight. I leaned against my door frame again. Rinse and repeat for about a minute. He lost his train of thought, got nervous, and said he had to go. It was kinda funny. 10. Waiting several seconds or up to a minute to say something after someone has given you an offer or asked you for something will make what you say next high likely to be agreed with. Most people hate uncomfortable silence, especially salespeople. 11. People want to be acknowledged, accepted, and appreciated. It takes almost nothing to give them that, but empires have risen and fell because of it. People will be so happy that you've given it, even if they know they're being manipulated. They'll ignore the manipulation for the sake of which you're giving them. 12. It depends on what you hand them. Working retail, I've learned that if you hand someone something while they are talking, they will take it, put it in their pocket purse etc., and then have no recollection of you ever giving them something. It has worked on every person I have tried it with. Edit. Lol, no. I didn't make anyone shoplift. It was usually their receipts, pens or the credit card slips, etc. Then after them talking, they'll ask for it and I tell them they pocketed it. But I learned this is a real psychological trick, and also to wait until they are done talking to hand them something. 13. If you want someone to like you, ask them to do small favors for you and be very appreciative when they comply. Positive reinforcements for tasks, just like training a dog. 14. Whenever I want to help someone with something, but I know their pride gets in the way or they don't want to impose, I ask them for a favor first even if I don't really need it. Examples would be like asking a peer how they arrived at a solution for Ziz, and then repaying the favor by going, "You want to see something cool I learned recently?" and showing them how to do something more efficiently correctly. Or when you know your parents' heater is broken, but they insist on calling a repairman instead of troubling you, and suddenly you need to borrow sugar, but while you're over there, might as well check out that heater. People like to feel helpful, and I like to give unsolicited advice. It works out. 15. Certified hypnotist here. You want a dark? Here you go. Leading a topic by stating something you know the subject will agree with. Transition into a restatement of whatever it is they agreed with and alter it slightly. End with a rhetorical question leaning towards agreement. Isn't that right? If you're slow and careful about this, you can get people to concede or agree to nearly anything without even noticing. Number 2. This one is incredibly fucking simple. Consistently thanking somebody for very, very basic things. Things you might not even thank someone for. Think moving out of the way for you, or handing you your water bottle from a few feet away. Once you make the interaction consistent enough, they will be used enough to the praise that it will be missed. Then, don't thank them for 1 or 2 things, and they will very frequently go out of their way in order to earn your thanks. 16. People love talking about themselves. Ask questions about their personal lives. Act interested in everything they say. I've carried on entire working relationships with people who couldn't tell you anything about me beyond my physical appearance, or incorrectly assume that I had their exact same interests and opinions. After you get to that point, they're not really sharing information with a stranger so much as with a psychological extension of themselves. 17. IDK about dark, but when someone asks for something I always offer 2 or 3 choices that make sense to me. Thirsty kid? Do you want water or milk? Never ask what they want to drink. Same with customers. I just give them a few options that I am okay with and let them choose. They still feel like they have some autonomy, and I don't have to wonder if I'm meeting their expectations. 18. Ask the question, is there anything you need to tell me? And not say anything else or just leave the room. Works on kids and adults. 19. Dominant body language. Relax. Lean back. Spread your arms and palms. Knees apart. Look relaxed but take up space. Do not look defensive. Look at people with your nose, that is, rise your face enough that you thrust your chin forward and look at them over your nose. Keep strong eye contact, or look at their carotid artery. Slow, deliberate gesticulation. Voice. Talk slowly, with pauses and emphasis. The trick is to try to talk with capital letters but not shout. Use the lowest tone you are comfortable with. People are far more receptive to baritone than to chipmunk squeaks. Conversation. Repeat and paraphrase what people told you. So, what you meant was, it makes it look like you are listening and taking them seriously without agreeing yet. Do not let people talk over you, unless it's an emergency. Shush them with a gesture if needed. Remove attention in a conversation if someone is being rude to you. However, call people out on being rude to others. You can even weaponize it to make them look like assholes, or detract from a conversation you would rather not have.